The moment Liv Morgan's voice cracked, you knew something was broken. Not just her words, not just the script, but something real, something raw, something that made millions of fans around the world stop scrolling and start feeling. Because when love collides with wrestling, when real emotion bleeds through the scripted chaos, that's when you witness something truly unforgettable. And what happened between Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio? This wasn't just another storyline. This was devastation wrapped in purple ring gear and tears that couldn't be faked. Right now, across social media, wrestling fans are in absolute mourning. The hashtags are flooded. The comments are overflowing with heartbreak. And if you've been following the twisted, electric, completely unpredictable romance between Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio, then you already know this update is going to shake you to your core. But if you're just joining us, if you're wondering what could possibly make the entire wrestling community drop everything and cry together, then buckle up. Because we're about to take you through every painful, beautiful, gut-wrenching detail of the story. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to understand why this moment matters so much. Before we dive deeper into this emotional roller coaster, I need you to do something for me. I need you to be part of this family. Because that's what we are here at Slam Zone. We don't just watch wrestling, we feel it, we live it. We break it down together like family sitting around talking about the biggest moments in this business. So if you care about these stories, if you want to be here for every shocking update, every emotional breakdown, every legendary moment that makes wrestling more than just a sport, then hit that subscribe button right now. Smash that notification bell so you never miss a single upload. And listen, I know life gets busy. I know we all scroll past 1,000 videos a day. But if this story hits you the way it's hitting millions of others, drop a comment below. Tell me how you're feeling. Tell me if you saw this coming. Because your voice matters here. We're building something special together, and I want you to be part of it. Now let's get back to the heartbreak. Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio. Just saying those names together feels electric, doesn't it? Their on-screen chemistry was undeniable from the moment Liv set her sights on Dominik. The tension, the forbidden attraction, the way she pulled him away from Rhea Ripley, the absolute chaos that followed. It was the kind of storyline that had fans divided, obsessed, and completely hooked. Some loved it, some hated it, but nobody could look away. Because whether you were Team Liv or Team Rhea, you had to admit this was compelling television. This was drama that felt real even when we knew it was scripted. And that's the magic of wrestling, isn't it? When the lines blur. When you can't tell where the character ends and the person begins. For months, Liv and Dominik gave us everything. The stolen glances. The secret moments. The way Liv would manipulate and seduce while Dominik played the conflicted, torn, almost naive young man caught between two powerful women. Rhea Ripley was the dominant force, the one who controlled him, the one who made him into dirty DOM. But Liv? Liv offered something different. She offered excitement. She offered freedom. She offered a dangerous kind of love that came with consequences nobody could predict. And slowly, painfully, beautifully, we watched Dominik fall deeper and deeper into Liv's world. The promos they cut together were fire. Absolute fire. Liv had this way of looking at the camera, this way of speaking that made you believe every word. She wasn't just playing a character. She was bearing her soul. And Dominik, whether people want to admit it or not, stepped up his game in ways we hadn't seen before. He wasn't just Rey Mysterio's son anymore. He wasn't just Rhea's puppet. He was becoming his own man, making his own choices, and dealing with the fallout of those choices in front of millions of people every single week. But here's where things get complicated. Here's where the story takes a turn that nobody saw coming. Because while we were all watching this love triangle play out on our screens, while we were debating on Twitter and Reddit about who Dominik should choose, while we were getting invested in every twist and turn, something happened behind the scenes. Something real. Something that changed everything. Liv Morgan recently shared an update about Dominik Mysterio that sent shockwaves through the wrestling world. And I'm not talking about a worked shoot. I'm not talking about a cleverly scripted moment designed to get heat or sympathy. I'm talking about genuine emotion. The kind that makes your chest tight. The kind that makes you remember that these are real people with real feelings who just happen to perform for us every week. In a video that's now been viewed millions of times, Liv opened up about the toll this storyline has taken. Not just on her character, but on her. The actual person behind the purple hair and the wicked smile. She talked about how invested she became. How the lines between Liv Morgan the performer and Gina Daddio the human being started to blur in ways she didn't expect. She talked about the pressure of carrying such a high-profile angle. The pressure of being hated by half the fanbase for breaking up one of the most beloved on-screen couples in recent memory. The pressure of trying to make every moment count while dealing with the very real emotions that come from working that closely with someone. And then she said something that broke everyone's heart. She talked about Dominik. About how their chemistry wasn't just good acting. About how the connection they built throughout this storyline was genuine. About how she cared for him. Not just as a scene partner. Not just as a colleague. But as a friend. As someone she respected and admired and genuinely wanted to see succeed. And she revealed that moving forward, things between them would never be quite the same. You could hear it in her voice. The sadness. The regret. The bittersweet acceptance that some stories have to end even when you're not ready for them to. She didn't go into specific details, She didn't need to, because anyone who's ever cared about someone, anyone who's ever had to let go of something beautiful, anyone who's ever experienced that specific kind of heartbreak that comes from knowing something good is over, they understood exactly what she meant. The comments section exploded. Fans from every corner of the wrestling world came together in solidarity. People who hated Liv's character found themselves sympathizing with Liv the person. People who never cared about the storyline suddenly realized how much these performers give of themselves to entertain us. The tears were real. The heartbreak was real. And for a brief, powerful moment, we all remembered that behind every entrance theme and scripted promo, there are human beings doing the best they can to tell stories that matter. Right now, before we go any further, I need to pause and ask you something. Are you feeling this the way I'm feeling this? Because if you are, if this story is resonating with you, then do me a favor. Hit that like button. Let me know you're with me on this journey. Subscribe to Slam Zone if you haven't already, because we're going to keep bringing you these deep dives, these emotional breakdowns, these moments that make wrestling more than just moves and finishers. We're a family here. And families stick together through the good times and the heartbreak. So join us. Be part of this. And drop a comment telling me your thoughts on Liv and Dominik's story. I read every single one, and I want to hear from you. Now, let's talk about what this means moving forward. Because this update doesn't just affect Liv and Dominik. It affects the entire landscape of WWE storytelling. Where does Liv go from here? Does she become more ruthless, more focused on championships, more determined to prove she doesn't need anyone? Or does this vulnerability we've seen become part of her character evolution? Does she open up more, show more layers, become even more complex than she already is? And Dominik? What does this mean for him? Is he going back to Rhea? Is he going solo? Is he going to reference this moment, this real emotion, in his future promos? Because if WWE is smart, and they usually are when it comes to capturing lightning in a bottle, they'll find a way to weave this genuine feeling into the narrative. They'll let Dominik acknowledge that what he had with Liv mattered, that it changed him, that it wasn't just manipulation in games. There was something real there, even if it couldn't last. The wrestling business has always been at its best when reality and fiction dance together. When Steve Austin was actually frustrated with his position in the company and channeled it into Stone Cold. When CM Punk aired real grievances in that legendary pipe bomb promo. When Daniel Bryan's genuine connection with fans forced WWE to change their WrestleMania plans. The magic happens when performers bring their authentic selves into the ring, when they let us see the person behind the persona, when they trust us enough to be vulnerable. And that's exactly what Liv Morgan did with this update. She trusted us. She let us in. She showed us that she's not just a character who does what the script tells her. She's an artist who pours her heart into every storyline, who forms real connections with her coworkers, who feels the weight of the story she helps tell. That takes courage. That takes strength. And that deserves our respect. The fans are responding in kind. Social media is flooded with messages of support for both Liv and Dominik. Fan art depicting their journey together. Video compilations of their best moments. Long threads analyzing every interaction they've had and what it all meant. Because that's what happens when you give people something real to hold on to. They don't just consume it and move on. They treasure it. They discuss it. They make it part of their own emotional experience. Some fans are hoping this isn't the end. They're manifesting a reunion. They're predicting future storylines where Liv and Dominik find their way back to each other. They're writing their own endings, their own versions of what could happen next. Others are accepting the heartbreak as part of the story's beauty, understanding that not everything gets a happy ending, that sometimes the most powerful moments come from loss and change and moving forward even when it hurts. What's clear is that this storyline, this partnership, this genuine connection between two performers, has left an indelible mark on WWE and its fan base. Years from now, people will remember Liv and Dominik's summer together. They'll remember the heat it generated, the passion it inspired, the genuine emotion it produced, and they'll remember this moment, this update, this vulnerable, honest, heartbreaking revelation that reminded us all why we love this business in the first place. As we reach the end of this breakdown, I want to leave you with something to think about. Wrestling is fake. We all know that. The outcomes are predetermined. The feuds are scripted. But the emotions? Those are real. The friendships formed in locker rooms and on the road? Real. The pressure to perform at the highest level night after night? Real. The toll it takes on your body and your mind and your heart? Real. And when performers like Liv Morgan are brave enough to pull back the curtain just a little bit and let us see that reality, we owe it to them to listen, to appreciate, to support. So here's what I need from you before you go. If this video moved you, if Liv and Dominik's story resonated with you, if you want to see more content like this that goes beyond just the moves and matches and gets into the heart of what makes wrestling special, then hit that subscribe button one more time if you haven't already. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this story. Leave a comment sharing your favorite Liv and Dominik moment. Tell me how you're feeling. Tell me what you think comes next. Because this conversation doesn't end here. It continues with all of us, together, as a community, as a family, as people who care about the stories and the performers who bring them to life. This is Slam Zone, where we don't just watch wrestling, we feel it. And this Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio story? We're all feeling it together. Until next time, keep supporting the performers who give us everything, keep appreciating the stories that make us feel, and never forget that behind every character is a real person deserving of respect and compassion. I'll see you in the next one.